Girls, before we start, quick housekeeping like real YouTuber, da? This weekend I do live stream about this exact topic. With your questions, your disaster stories, maybe even live roast of your ex if I'm in good mood. So if you watch this on YouTube, hit like, subscribe, all this annoying but necessary stuff so algorithm God will actually show my face to you again. And for my serious students, on Patreon I upload special video, how to seduce like Cleopatra, not like random pick-me from TikTok. We go deep there, so if you want advanced level, you know where to go. Now today we talk about how men fall in love, not fairy tale, not what he posts on Instagram story with sunset and Drake music, but how it actually happens inside his strange male brain and chest. I talk to you like big sister with Russian accent and too much tea in system, so it will be honest, little harsh, but with love. You think men fall in love same way we do. Long texting, mental connection, playlist sharing, trauma dumping at 2 a.m., right? Not exactly. We are slow cooker, they are frying pan. We simmer, build emotional stew with memories and fantasies and voice notes. They get hit more suddenly, like oil popping when it gets hot enough. But the temperature does not rise for them the same way as for us. Let me break illusion first, so you don't waste next 5 years on wrong strategy. You cannot talk man into loving you. You cannot nurture him into loving you. You cannot prove you are best choice and hope he will suddenly wake up and say, "Oh wow, she did so much for me, now I am in love." He might feel loyalty, obligation, gratitude, but this is not same like, "I am obsessed, I can't stop thinking of her, I don't want to lose her." Love for man is not polite decision. It is pressure in his chest that scares him a little. We love through connection. Men love through admiration and emotional safety. Look at Cleopatra, for example. You think mighty Julius Caesar and Mark Antony risked empire, career, even life because she was simply nice to them? No, my love. She understood deep male ego and male heart. She made them feel like gods and little boys at same time. Around her they were admired, challenged, seduced, but never mothered. That combination is dynamite for man. Let me give you real story before theory, so your brain doesn't float away. I had friend here in Moscow, we call her Lera. Very pretty girl, but not some outrageous model. Just nice, feminine, soft eyes, little shy. She dated guy, we call him Dima, for almost 2 years. Dima was classic, I don't know what I want, man. 1 foot with her, 1 foot in, I'm not ready for serious, I'm confused. He liked that she cooked for him, did his laundry sometimes, helped edit his CV, listened to his work rants. She was basically half girlfriend, half secretary. She loved him, poor thing. She thought if she just shows more support, more care, he will wake up one day and suddenly feel same. Meanwhile, he flirted with other girls, answered their stories with fire emoji, all this nonsense. She cried to me on kitchen many nights, telling me, he says he is not ready for love, maybe in future, but I feel we are so close. I tell her, close to what? To being his therapist with benefits? Finally they break up. Not even dramatic. He just says he needs space, and something is missing. Of course something is missing. His love. You cannot donate this organ to him. Few months later, Lera starts seeing new guy. We call him Artyom. This one totally different. He has his own life, hobbies, theater, weird music, friends. He does not need her to manage his emotions. He takes her on real dates, calls her his girlfriend in front of people like normal person, not like she is secret spy. He is not perfect, they argue, but he is present. Now look what happens. Our dear confused Dima suddenly starts going insane, sending her long messages how he just realized how special she is, how no one understands him like she does, how maybe now he is ready for something real. Classic. But here is interesting part. He doesn't say, I realized I love you because you helped me with CV and always answered my calls. No. He starts remembering little moments when she made him feel like man. How she looked proud of him when he fixed her broken bookshelf. How she laughed at his terrible jokes like he was comedian. How she trusted his decisions when they traveled. These things created feeling of love in him, but he did not understand until she left. When that reflection of himself disappeared, he suddenly felt whole. This is big secret. Many men fall in love not with you directly, but with version of themselves they feel when they are with you. Read this again if needed. For us, we can love man even when we don't love ourselves. Silly but true. For them, real deep love usually comes when they feel more masculine, more capable, more respected in your company than alone. You become mirror where his best self is reflected back. Not fake ego boost, but genuine belief in him. When you are around man and constantly correct him, instruct him, test him, compete with him, argue every tiny thing like debate club, his feeling with you is, I am not good enough, I am being graded. He might be sexually attracted, he might even be addicted to drama, but this not grow into peaceful, steady love. His nervous system is too busy defending ego. On other side, if you lose yourself to worship mode and treat him like God who can do no wrong, he will enjoy it at first, but soon he feels like fraud. Deep down, he knows he is human with flaws. When pedestal too high, he pull away or start disrespecting you because he senses you don't see him clearly. Men fall in love in this sweet middle place where you see his potential, believe in it, but also see his reality and hold him accountable. Cleopatra could charm powerful rulers because she knew when to challenge and when to submit to moment. Ask yourself honestly, with man you like, do you create this feeling or do you turn into his mother, manager or rival? Also, big myth is that men fall in love just from sex. No, sex opens door, but what happens before and after builds love. For many men, first stage is visual and physical. He is attracted, he wants you. But love starts when he realizes, I don't feel this way with other girls. Usually this realization hits not during crazy romantic moment, but some small thing. Like you sit in kitchen in his old t-shirt, hair messy, eating his chips and criticizing his taste in movies, and he suddenly thinks, damn, I really like this person. He might not say it, but inside something clicks. He falls in love through repeated emotional experiences where you are consistent. Not perfect, not always sweet, but emotionally consistent. If today you adore him and tomorrow you cold and posting half-naked revenge stories for attention, you do not build love, you build anxiety. Some young women now think they must constantly keep man on edge, always jealous, always chasing, never secure. This will keep certain low-quality types addicted maybe, but emotionally healthy man does not fall in love with circus. He can be entertained, but his soul will not rest there. Another thing nobody tells you. Men usually fall in love a bit slower, but when they do, it's heavy. They may still act cool, but inside they are planning. Where he will take you next month. How you will look together at his friend's wedding. If he can introduce you to family without his mother starting war. You know man is falling. Not when he talks pretty words when wine is flowing, but when his actions become consistent and his life slowly rearranges to include you. My cousin's ex, for example, used to say, you are my everything, then disappear for 3 days because he was overwhelmed. This is not falling in love, this is emotional diarrhea. On other side, my own man, when we started, he didn't write poetry, didn't send 50 messages a day, but suddenly he was free every Sunday for us, he fixed my shelf before I even asked twice, he started planning trips months ahead, assuming I come too. That is male version of bouquet of roses every day. You must also understand, many men are terrified of their own feelings. We cry on phone with best friend, he drinks beer and says to himself, it's nothing, I'm fine. So often his falling in love process looks like push-pull, not because you did something wrong, but because he has old wounds, fear of losing freedom, fear of being controlled, fear of being hurt like last time. So he comes close, feels all nice and melty, then panics and runs a bit. You chase, he runs more. Don't do this. If you chase, you become hunter, and he becomes deer. Deer does not fall in love with hunter, it just tries not to die. Better you stand still in your value. You show you care, you're open, but you have life beyond him. When he pulls back, you don't make drama opera. You also don't freeze him out with silent treatment game. You just move on with your life, let him face his own fear without becoming his emotional babysitter. Man who is capable of love will feel the difference between woman who demands love and woman who inspires it. And please, For the love of all Russian grandmothers, stop thinking you can fix him into loving you. If he says in beginning, "I don't want relationship," believe his mouth, not your fantasy. Sometimes man falls in love with woman he thought would be casual. Yes, but this usually happens because she does not try to convince him. She lives her life, respects his words, and if he changes, it's his choice, not result of her campaign. Now I want to talk about Cleopatra again, because I know some of you already dreaming about your inner queen. Cleopatra was not necessarily world's most beautiful woman. Historians argue about this. But she understood something. Men fall in love with experience, not just with face. An experience of being with her was unique. She educated, she was witty, she knew politics, languages, she turned conversations into seduction. When man left her presence, world looked more grey. That is how you become unforgettable. Not by nudity in every story, but by energy you bring into room. Ask yourself, when he leaves your company, does he feel calmer, more focused, slightly prouder of himself, maybe smiling alone like idiot? Or does he feel drained, criticized, confused, or too full, like he just emotionally overate? Men will run from constant emotional buffet. Give him taste, not whole restaurant in first week. So how they fall? Roughly like this. First he is physically intrigued, then emotionally comfortable, then deeply admired and inspired, then finally a bit afraid to lose you. That last part matters. If he feels there is zero chance you ever leave, even if he treats you badly, his love becomes lazy. Not because he is evil, but because human nature. Little bit of healthy tension keeps his heart awake. Cleopatra did not chain men. She fascinated them so much they chained themselves. At end, you ask, "Okay, big sister, what I do with all this? How not to be clown in man's half-love story? So now your homework, because I am Russian, of course there is homework. And no, you cannot copy from neighbor. Tonight take journal, no Instagram, no music, just you and your brain. First, I want you to write about one man from your past where you clearly loved him more than he loved you. Be brutal honest. Describe how you behaved around him, where you overgave, where you tolerated disrespect, where you tried to impress instead of just be. Then write what version of himself you think he felt with you. Did he feel like hero, like little boy, like patient in clinic, like king, like project? This will hurt a bit, but it will open eyes. Second, think of man in your life, could be friend, brother, colleague, who clearly loves his woman deeply, you can see in his eyes. Ask him, if appropriate, or observe quietly, what does she do differently? How does she treat him in public and private? Not to copy her like robot, but to understand pattern. See how often it's combination of respect, warmth and boundaries, not endless sacrifice. Third, next week practice one Cleopatra habit, not crazy costume, calm down. I mean, when you are with man you like, focus less on, does he love me? Does he want me? Am I enough? And more on, what experience he has around me right now. Are you present, playful, curious, feminine? Or are you anxious inspector constantly scanning for signs? Once a day, catch yourself and switch from mind reading him to actually enjoying moment with him or with yourself. Write in evening how this changed your interactions. Do this for at least 1 month, not 1 day. Men do not fall in love because you watched one video and suddenly became Cleopatra 2.0. But slowly your energy will shift from chasing love to embodying woman who naturally receives it. And then, when right man comes, he will fall. Not because you forced him, but because you finally understood this. He does not fall in love with perfect girl. He falls in love with how powerful, peaceful and alive he feels when he is loved by you. Alright, I stop for today. Remember, live stream this weekend. Bring your tea, your questions, and your broken heart, we glue it together. And if you want deep dive class on how to seduce like Cleopatra without losing your soul, Patreon link is in description. Now go do your homework, not just screenshot my words like quote for story.